Whether you're thinking of divorcing your narcissistic spouse, right in the middle of it, or have finalized your divorce, the tactics are the same. If this sounds like you need to know about Christine Hammond's new masterclass series, How to Survive a Divorce with a Narcissist. In this 4-hour video series, Christine Hammond introduces the toxic tactics that narcissists use to abuse, humiliate, and manipulate you, and teaches you exactly how to recognize these tactics and navigate through them with mastery and confidence. How to Survive a Divorce with a Narcissist is a deep dive, a masterclass that'll show you how narcissists use tactics like bait and switch, scare tactics, roller coaster ride, and child's play. It's How to Survive a Divorce with a Narcissist, a 4-hour recorded video masterclass with Christine Hammond. For more information or to purchase today, just go to growwithchristine.com/narcissism. That's growwithchristine.com/narcissism. This masterclass will change your life. Again, that's growwithchristine.com/narcissism. This is Understanding Today's Narcissist. Brought to you in part by PsychCentral.com. And now here's your host, Christine Hammond.
One of the frequent questions that I get asked when working with a narcissist is a client comes in and they've realized that their spouse is a narcissist. And then they ask me, now what do I do about it? Well, we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to use the example of Kaitlyn and her husband. For remember, narcissism works both ways. A female can be narcissistic every bit as much as a male can be. So if you're in that position, just replace the name of Kaitlyn with Kevin and use the example as your female spouse being the narcissist. So let's talk about Kaitlyn. After reading several articles on narcissism and coming into counseling, Kaitlyn realized that her husband was a narcissist. She knew that something was off for years, but she couldn't put her finger on it. She couldn't quite place what it was. She fell in love immediately with him, and within months, they were married. She thought she had met the perfect person. He was charming, attentive, and even sensitive. But shortly after the marriage, things changed. It seemed like overnight he went from charming to demanding, from attentive to dismissive, from sensitive to heartless. Everything was Kaitlyn's fault, and the harder she tried, the more he expected. Exhausted and overwhelmed, Kaitlyn slipped into a depression that lasted for years. She stopped caring, gave up on her relationship, and even on herself. During a random Google search, Kaitlyn stumbled on narcissism. The more she read, the more her eyes were open to the reality of her life. It was as if a light began to shine in the darkness of her heart. Newly determined to make her life better, she wondered where to start and what to do. Does she leave? Does she stay? Separate? And how is this best done? The series of questions that we're going to cover are ones that Kaitlyn and thousands of my clients have asked me over the years. Remember, you have options. Despite what the narcissist has said to you, there are things that can be done differently. More importantly, you are in control of your own life. It is time to take it back, and here's how to do it. First question. I just learned that my spouse is a narcissist. Now what? Well, the critical first step is to learn everything you can on the subject. Don't make the mistake of confronting the narcissist about their narcissism. True narcissists wear that label with pride, while others will project the narcissism back onto you, causing you to question your own perception. Keep this to yourself. Learn, study, and observe. So the answer to the question is, I just learned that my spouse is a narcissist. Now what? Keep studying. Next question. What can I do to make my life better? Narcissists need a daily feeding of attention, affirmation, adoration, and affection. By supplying their needs in small, digestible doses, you can tame the toughest of narcissists. Don't compromise yourself in the process. Rather, see this as an opportunity to verify if they really are a narcissist. Non-narcissists will not respond well to a daily feeding, whereas narcissists are going to crave it. So how do you make your life better? By trying to do a daily feeding of attention, affirmation, adoration, or affection. Next question. How can I care for myself? Before making any decision about leaving, you must be in a place of strength. Separations or divorces from a narcissist can be a nasty battle, so you will need to be strong. Having an occupation that supplies enough income for you is a great way to build self-esteem. Before you leave, get whatever education you need to improve your situation. This is also a good time to learn how to meditate or pray to release some of the stress of living with a narcissist. So how do you care for yourself? You have to be in a place of strength by building your strength back up. Next question. What can I do about the abuse? If you're not in counseling, please find a therapist who understands narcissistic abuse. There are 7 ways a person can be abused: physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally, sexually, financially, and spiritually. Discover their abuse tactics and map them out. Most narcissists don't deviate from them, and they actually repeat the same pattern over and over again. Just knowing what to expect next opens you up to strategically planning a diversion. So what can you do about the abuse? Understand it, learn more about it, and be strategic. Next question. Who can I talk to about the narcissism? There should be a very tight circle of people that you're going to consult. Professionals like a counselor or attorney should know what is happening so that they can offer the best advice. Choose 2 to 3 friends, not family, that will support you no matter what. Make sure that they will respect your privacy and not leak any information out to their friends or family. This is also not the time to post an article on Facebook about narcissism. Instead, keep quiet. So who do you talk to about the narcissism? Keep your circle very, very tight. Make sure that your friends are 100% team you. Next question. Should I talk to an attorney? Yes. Most family law attorneys will do a consultation with you. You will need one that you like, understands narcissism, helps you to prepare for a separation or divorce, and is flexible in your timing. There are several ways to get divorced. There is full-blown litigation, which can be very expensive. Mediation, which is great if the narcissist is willing to get a divorce, but most are not. And collaboration, which can be extremely confidential. Decide ahead of time which avenue you want to go down, what attorney you like, and your timetable for deciding. So, should you talk to an attorney? Absolutely. Next question. Should I plan for the worst? Yes. Narcissists tend to divorce frequently, and since past behavior is often indicative of future actions, you might be next. Always be prepared for the worst with a narcissist. Have copies of all financial documents and important papers like titles, insurance, certificates, passports. Take pictures of your possessions and save them to a private file that the narcissist doesn't have access to. Also, make sure that the narcissist doesn't have access to your passwords on your accounts, and change your passwords if needed. Create a private email for communication with an attorney, friend, bank, or therapist that doesn't link with any of your other email accounts and really stays between you. So should you plan for the worst? Yes, please do that. Next question. I decided to stay. Now what? You're going to need to develop your own superpower. Imagine you have an invisible bubble that surrounds you at an arm's length distance. This is your invisible force field. You can see out of it, but nothing can get in unless you allow it. Use your superpower to activate your force field anytime you need it. This will help you when dealing with your narcissistic spouse. If their hurtful words or actions no longer cause you pain, they will stop because they are not getting the attention they want. So if you decide to stay, what do you do now? Develop your superpower so that you can insulate yourself a little bit better from attack. But what if you decided to separate? Now what? Well, separation usually involves an ultimatum of sorts. Unless this changes, whatever it is, I won't come back. Whatever you decide that ultimatum to be, you must stick with it no matter what. It is also best to separate with an end date in mind of either 30, 60, 90, or 120 days. A never-ending separation, unless there is a separation agreement, is not to your advantage. Don't end the separation prematurely, as the narcissist will only see this as you are caving and they are getting away with even worse things later. So if you decide to separate, what do you do now? Make sure you have an end date in mind and decide what that ultimatum is for you. But what if you decide to divorce? Now what? It is always better if the narcissist decides to divorce first. When it is their idea, the divorce is quick and easy. When it is yours, they view this as a form of abandonment and will pull out all the stops to destroy you. Remember, nothing can be the fault of the narcissist, so they must blame you for everything. You will need an army of people supporting you to navigate the divorce. So don't pull the trigger on this until everything is in place. So if you decide to get a divorce, make sure you have everything lined up and you are ready to go. So after Kaitlyn and I talked, she realized that she had many more options than what she originally thought. This allowed her to feel freer so she could focus on making the right decision for her life. And remember, only you know what the right decision is for your life. Don't let somebody talk you into something that you don't want to do. Pay attention to what you're feeling and follow your heart.
Thanks for listening to Understanding Today's Narcissist with Christine Hammond. Brought to you in part by PsychCentral.com. For more information, visit growwithchristine.com.